right, music fans, welcome back. It is just harmless Dave here, the real music observer, observing real music in real time for real people, just like you and just like me. Well, sort of the elephant in the room, or the obvious reason Van Halen would want Michael Anthony back in the band, is actually a twofold thing. Number one, I think it comes down to Michael's high harmony vocals that are famous in both the Dave and the Sammy eras, and maybe even the Gary era as well. Didn't really spend that much time with Van Halen 3, but yeah, I'm sure Michael Anthony's vocals were a part of that record, just like everything else he's been a part of. I think David Lee Roth needs a crutch, and the best crutch for Dave is going to be Michael Anthony. The other reason, of course, is this whole 1978 nostalgia. We're going to go back to the very beginning. We're going to bring the band back to where it was in 1978 as far as personnel. And that's kind of a big achievement these days, as far as bands that still have their original lineup, or their original lineup is all still alive, or not addled with drugs or some other issue. It's pretty cool. And I think a lot of people are just driven these days. The baby boomers especially are all really driven by nostalgia. If you can put a band together again, look at what's going on with Kiss, right? I've got people who send me messages and they're like, Dave, I went to see the show. I didn't even care. What they're saying is, I didn't even care that I knew Paul Stanley was lip syncing. And these people are just admitting it to me. So there you go. Eddie Trunk and Trunk Nation, calls like this coming into Eddie Trunk all the time. Hey, do you think it's a good idea? Yeah, it's a good idea that Paul is lip syncing, because people are still showing up for the gigs. Now, personally, maybe I'd be distracted enough by a Kiss event because of all the other stuff going on. I mean, doesn't Gene like ingest a flaming sword or something? I mean, it's pretty crazy stuff what these guys do. And a lot of it has to do with entertainment versus like musical entertainment, I guess. I don't know. And with Van Halen, they don't really play into all those gimmicks as much. I mean, Dave does his shtick, shall we say. But I think Eddie, my guess is, would insist upon musical integrity. Meaning, no lip syncing, no tracks being performed. I mean, they're Van bleeping Halen. You've got one of the great rhythm sections of all time when you have Michael back in there with Alex. You have one of the great guitar players of all time, and you have one of the greatest frontmen of all time. I didn't say vocalists, mind you, but put the four of them together and bam, it's 1978. Except for the fact that, like I say, Dave is a mere shell of himself. But that's why they need Michael Anthony, and that's why I think if they do reunite, it's going to be the four of them, or it's not going to happen at all. And I think if I'm a betting man at this stage, I'm saying it's going to happen. Why else would they be refurbishing Eddie Van Halen's road case, okay? Where he keeps his guitar and his gear and stuff, and they had pictures, and those pictures went out. This is classic hype, like what you would call sort of minor league hype. So people start asking questions like myself, and videos start circulating like this one, and people start to think to themselves, well, Van Halen's definitely coming back, and they'll probably announce. My guess is if they're going to announce, it's probably going to be toward the end of this month, early April. That's what I would guess. But we'll see. They might hold out a little bit longer, but if they're going to book dates and secure venues, they got to start doing this pretty soon. All right, done. Be back with more soon. Michael Anthony, he's essential to the mix. See you later.